All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Hari Hari. Hare Krishna. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. We will continue to read from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, the status quo, chapter 13, the appearance of Lord Varaha, and text 49. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
So I'll recite first, then you can recite. Tasmin prasanne sakalaṣīṣam prabho kim dullabham tabiralam lavatmabhi ananya drushtya bhajatam gruhasayo swayam vidhatte swagatim paraparam. Tasmin prasanne sakalaṣīṣam prabho kim dullabham tabiralam lavatmabhi ananya drushtya bhajatam gruhasaya swayam vidatte swagatim paraparam. Tasmin prasanne sakalaṣīṣam prabho kim dullabham tabiralam lavatmabhi ananya drushtya bhajatam gruhasaya swayam vidhatte swagatim paraparam. Please recite.
Tasmin prasanne sakalaṣīṣam prabho king dulabham tabhir alam lavatmabhi ananya drishtya bhajatam guhashaya swayam vidhatte swagatim paraparam.
Tasmin prasanne
Sakala.
Tasmin prasanne sakalaṣīṣam prabhu kim dullabham tabhir alam lavatmabhi ananyastasya bhajatam guhashaya swayam vidhatte swagatim paraparam. Hare Krishna.
Krishna. Tasmin prasanne sakalaṣīṣam prabho kim dullabham tabhir alam lavatmabhi ananya drishta bhajatam guhashaya shayam vidhate swagatim paraparam. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Tasmin prasanne sakalaṣīṣam prabho kim durlabham tabir alam lavatmabhi ananya drishtya pajitam guhasaya swayam vidate swagatim paraparam. Hare Krishna.
Very nice. Anyone else? Okay. We can do the synonyms. Tasmin, unto him, prasanne, being pleased, sakala asisam, of all benediction, prabho, unto the Lord, kim, What is that? Durlabham, very difficult to obtain. Tavi, with them. Alam, away. Lava Atmabhi, with insignificant gains. Ananya Drishtya, by nothing but devotional service. Bhajatam, of those who are engaged in devotional service. Guha Asayaha, residing within the heart. Swayam, personally. Biddhate, executes. Swagatim, in his own abode. Para, the supreme. Param, transcendental. Translation: nothing remains unachieved when the Supreme Personality of Godhead is pleased with someone. By transcendental achievement, one understands everything else to be insignificant. One who engages in transcendental loving service is elevated to the highest perfectional stage by the Lord Himself, who is seated in everyone's heart. Purport. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 10.10, the Lord gives intelligence to the pure devotees so that they may be elevated to the highest perfectional stage. It is confirmed herein that a pure devotee who constantly engages in the loving service of the Lord is awarded all knowledge necessary to reach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For such a devotee, there is nothing valuable to be achieved but the Lord's service. If one serves faithfully, there is no possibility of frustration because the Lord Himself takes charge of the devotee's advancement. The Lord is seated in everyone's heart and He knows the devotee's motive and arranges everything achievable. In other words, the sweeter devotee who is anxious to achieve material gains cannot attain the highest perfectional stage because the Lord is in the knowledge of his motive. One merely has to become sincere in his purpose. Then the Lord is there to help in every way. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desa Tarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Nothing remains unachieved when the Supreme Personality of Godhead is pleased with someone. By transcendental achievement, one understands everything else to be insignificant. One who engages in transcendental loving service is elevated to the highest perfectional stage by the Lord Himself, who is situated in everyone's heart. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for joining. I would like to see blessings of all the assembled Vaishnavas, senior Vaishnavas, Bhagavatam study. Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam is, transcendental literature, pure. It's ripened fruit of the desired tree of the Vedic literature. So everything, every word and everything in this Bhagavatam is transcendental. So here we are studying Maitra Muni actually giving at the end, after explaining, narrating the appearance of Lord Varahadev. Maitra Muni is inspiring to Vidura and to all of us. He says that nothing remains unachieved when the Supreme Personality of Godhead is pleased with someone. we living entity in this material world is full of desires, unlimited desires. There's a song called Asesa Kamana, Bhakti Vinod Thakur writes, Asesa Kamana Bidhi Majimor, something like that, unlimited desires. And it is true that devotee, a living entity, cannot be desireless. Our process is not to become desireless. We will have the desire, unlimited desire, but one is material desire, and the other one is transcendental desire. So one never becomes a desireless. We always just change or purify our desires. So Maitreya Muni is saying, nothing remains unachieved when the Supreme Personality of God is pleased with someone. Because Lord is within the heart of every living entity. If he is satisfied, he fulfills the desire of all living entities. And it is said that when Krishna gives, in devotees say, when Krishna wants to give to his devotees something, we will not have enough hands to hold it. And we have seen so many examples in the past, in the Bhagavatam also, and now at the present as well. Only thing is one thing is we have to take shelter of Krishna, we have to faith, and we have to ask for him also. Prabhupada says, there is no point asking, oh God, give me your daily bread. No, that's okay. And that at the beginning level, we can at least connection, but we cannot continue that in all the time. One has to purify one's desires and one's prayers also, what one is asking for. So daily bread is good, but one has to, in human life, is life of gratitude. Every moment of our life, we can see how Krishna is protecting us. Krishna is supplying us all our necessities, including water, air, varieties of food, proper living condition, everything, and healthy body. Without Krishna's mercy, this is not possible. When I was looking at animals and small insects, bugs, sometimes I pay attention. It's so amazing. Their life is so insecure. Anytime can the life can end. The body, they can be completed, because one living entity depends on the other living entity. But human life, if you notice, is made such a nice way that we have full facility of protection. We are also vulnerable and prone to dangers. Padam padam yad vipadam. In every moment there's a danger. If not protected, danger is there. Of course, in the age of Kali, we are expediting or increasing the what you call fear and the danger. Accidents. We drive high-speed vehicles, flying. We are on the road, means we are inviting. We have to be very, very careful. That's why so many incidences are there. You just name it. If you go for an insurance company for house, you will see the coverages for so many. You have to very carefully study different coverage, because so many ways you can be in trouble. Or for driving car as well, so many insurances details they will give. This is covered, this is not covered. This is covered, this is not covered. So, so basically this life is very insecure. However, human being has been given that intelligence that we can secure properly and engage in devotional service. Engage in devotional service. So that's why human life is meant for be grateful, gratitude. Krishna has given special privilege to all of us. So in this human life, also we are full of desires, especially, and that is, we can have and material desires, and sometimes even the devotional service, we have a mixed desire. We seek for material prosperity. At the same time, we also want the pure love of Krishna. I'm sure many of you know that. We don't want to compromise the material world comforts. At the same time, we want highest form of life. So it's a mixed highest form of spirituality. It's a mixed devotee. It's not called pure devotee. And the third is pure devotee, pure aspiration, pure desire. Rupa Goswami also gives that in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and also Chaitanya Charitamrita is there. Anya vilasita sunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukulyena krishna nusilanam bhakti uttama. So when a first-class devotional service develops, one must be devoid of all material desires. So here we have to be very clear that devoid of material desire doesn't mean that we don't maintain our material body. Devotees still eat nicely, they still clean, they still work to maintain their body. But what is this material desire is referring to is trying to load over this propensity to load over material world, acquiring more than necessity, atyahara, and feeling great satisfaction when we become, our material condition is better than the others. One devotee has a better car than the other. I have a better car than the other. These all are, impure form of devotional service. So that hankering is not recommended. Yeah, one can aspire. Isavasyam idam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat tena tektena bhunjita ma vida kasya svidhanam. Yeah, one has right to accept one's necessities from this material world. Because Krishna is the supplier, he fulfills everyone's necessities. And so everyone has a right, actually, because Krishna is Father, our Father, and I have a right. But then it is condemned. Okay, you have taken more than necessity, then it is condemned. So one should aspire only what one is needed. In the garb of devotional service, one should not compete to have gross a subtle level highest material position in this material world. Gross level means external, everything, better car, better house, this. We compare with each other, devotees, in gross level. And subtle level is a desire for name, fame, adoration. Both is material. Both is material. So Krishna, when one renders pure devotional service, that is called highest perfection. By transcendental achievement, one understands everything else to be insignificant. So as we progress in spiritual progress, by proper hearing and chanting and association of devotees, gradually we'll realize that everything else which I was hankering and aspiring is really insignificant. We see so many devotees, live very simple actually, and very happily. They do their sadhana very nicely, and I'm really taking inspiration from them all the time. Morning, getting up in the morning, doing the sadhana, and just accepting breakfast and lunch, keeping one's body and soul together, and constantly thinking, now how can I help others in helping the movement? We see so many devotees are always constantly thinking actually. So by Prabhupada writes, by transcendental achievement, one understands everything else is to be insignificant. And the best example, many examples, best example we can see is Dhruva Maharaj. He had a material desires, motive, And Samarade came in association of the devotees to fulfill his material desires. And Krishna does not let them, reject them. Okay, you have a material desire, that's fine. Akama, sarvakama, mokshikama, udadit, tibrena bhakti yogena, yajate purusa param. Yajate purusam param. So it's okay. It's okay if you have a desire, but we have to purify our desires. Dhruva Maharaj came up with so big desire out of anger and frustration. But then at the end, as he becomes purified, he says that, he said, what I was looking for. So same in following footsteps of Dhruva Maharaj also, if we hanker for material desires all that time accumulating, compromising our spiritual practice, then we will end up with so many assets and everything, but not transcendental realizations. Not transcendental realizations, joy, the spiritual joy. And the great devotees have set through example. They understand that material world gives only flickering happiness. Flickering happiness. Yehi sansparsaja bhoga dukkha yena evaka adi antavanta kontaya natesu ramate buddha. The intelligent people, even though they take everything, but they understand that this is not my place for enjoyment. So then what is enjoyment? Living entities naturally aspiring for transcendental pleasure. Anandamaya vyasat. So then in this verse it says that one who engages in transcendental loving service is elevated to the highest perfectional stage by the Lord himself, who is situated in everyone's heart. Krishna is within the heart of everyone. He understands one's motive. What I want. Ultimately, everything nails it down to our desire. The situation where I am, where I've been put, why I'm going through, is because of my own desire. While practicing bhakti also, I may not have aspired for pure bhakti. Pure bhakti is not difficult. I mean, it's difficult, but it's not impossible. We can take association of the pure devotees. Who are the pure devotees? Who to their body, to their mind, to their intelligence, to their possessions, always engage in service of the Supreme Lord. Even though living in this world, amongst us, those are pure devotees. They don't aspire for anything else. So by associating with them, our desires also will be purified. Now, this point to be noted is, everyone, Prabhupada writes, one who engages in, actually, not Maitreya Muni says that, one who engages in transcendental loving service is elevated to the highest perfectional stage by the Lord himself. That's a very, very nice point. Ultimately, everything comes from the Lord. We just have to ask for it, seek for it. And what we are desiring, we have to be very careful in our prayers, because he knows we cannot hide or manipulate his in our heart. So with the association of pure devotees, we understand that devotional service is the topmost highest, because bhakti itself conquers Krishna. He is bound by the love of his devotees. He is bound by the love of the devotees. If one serves faithfully, there is no possibility of frustration, because the Lord himself takes charge of the devotee's advancement. This is eye-opening for me. Many times, we might feel frustration. And when we feel frustration, why I'm not getting satisfaction in my discharging the service? Why I'm not deriving that joy? I heard that at the beginning or the intermediate level also, we will be going through ups and downs. Sometimes I'm happy in serving, sometimes I'm not. Morning time happy to serve, and afternoon I'm not, again down in my devotional service. Does anyone have such kind of experiences? Sometimes very happily we do, then sometimes not inspired very much. If you have it, it's normal, it's common. Everyone has to go through it. Everyone has to go through it. Then one point I realized that, even though I'm practicing bhakti, I'm not genuinely, begging the Lord for his mercy. I'm not genuinely begging the Lord for his mercy. So, because ultimately everything comes from him, he arranges for all of us. Let me share that screen again. So we have it here. In the purport, he says that if one serves faithfully, there is no possibility of frustration because the Lord himself takes charge of the devotee's advancement. That's a very nice statement Prabhupada writes. One is we have to serve faithfully. And second thing is we can see the frustrations coming in our life many times, even though we have become devotees. What the solution is, we become more closer to Krishna. We serve more faithfully. But most of the time, we always need the association of the senior devotees. Otherwise, it's not going to be possible. It's not going to be very easy. And bhakti cannot be practiced by independently, without proper guidance. Always when I have seen, even in the senior devotees, they consult with each other. They meet with each other, discuss with each other. Machchita madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam. That is also there. At the same time, Rupa Goswami also says in Upadesamrita, he says, Guhyam akhyati pruchhati. Guhyam akhyati pruchhati. They inquire and share, they reveal each other in their devotional progress. So bhakti can be done only in association of devotees. But not that association. Sometimes by the name of association, we do more, can be a lot of parties. What is the party? We cook nice food, everything, and we enjoy kirtan, then gossip also. But that's really not, needed, association needed, those all needed. But we shouldn't miss that association part. Rupa Goswami explained that association means you have to associate someone who is little advanced than us. We serve them and we make friendship with equals and we inspire those who are new in the movement. So it's a very carefully guided program actually. And as we learn and Krishna knows in our heart, he's gradually helping us also to progress. So if one serves faithfully, there is no possibility of frustration because the Lord himself takes charge of the devotee's advancement. So this is we can focus more on this because in devotional service, there can be desire for subtle level of name, fame, adoration also. If that desire is there, Krishna also fulfills. Krishna can give us positions also. But one should aspire for the pure bhakti. In Anya Vilasita Sinya means, I don't want na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadesa kama hai. Even though the holy name in bhakti is, like a desired tree, everything you want, you can get it. By chanting the holy name, you can get it. Even while I was reading the Gayatri Mahima, I was hearing, even Gayatri also have a material desire and spiritual desire. If you chant the Gayatri, it can fulfill your material desire also. Especially, which one? The Gopala mantra is mentioned. It can fulfill the material desire, it can fulfill the spiritual desire also. So we have to be careful what we are looking for. So Prabhupada says here in other words, the pseudo devotee who is anxious to achieve material gains cannot attain the highest perfectional stage because the Lord is in the knowledge of his motive. Krishna knows our heart. It's a big lesson. We have to look inside our heart and see actually what Krishna Kirtan, what you're looking for actually. That has to be very clear. Maybe you can write our desires, what I'm looking for in my life. We can write it down. Then make a decision. No, I want this, or I want this, or I want both. Both can be done also. But Krishna trains a devotee and gives in a situation, brings material frustration, and inspires him to be a very sincere devotee. One merely has to become sincere in his purpose, and then the Lord is there to help in every way. So this statement from Maitreya Muni in this narration of the Lord Varahadevs is very inspiring. He says, everything, ultimately he is Purnam, everything comes from him. We just have to change our direction. Either we aspire from others, or we depend on ourselves. I can do it. Like Draupadi, she said, I can do it. I don't need. Or direct everything to Krishna. Krishna will fulfill all our desires. Prabhupada is an example, right? Our founder, Acharya Prabhupada is a wonderful example that he had a desire to help, to deliver this message of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in all over the world. He did not have a small desire. We have a difficulty to inspire our own family members, right? But he had a desire to deliver whole world, and he took risk, of course. But one thing is that his motive was very clear, and he was compassionate to others, and he was completely taken shelter to Krishna. He had full faith on Lord Krishna. With that faith, he took the ship, Jaladuta. Otherwise, it's not possible actually. And then, due course of time, Krishna understands, Prabhupada's motive. He arranges everything. He arranges everything. 108 temples. Many times I admire all these achievements of Prabhupada, but most admiration is that in spite of all this busy schedule, how he could, translate or compile all these books. That is also perfectly done. There's nowhere we can find fault in Prabhupada's books. When we try to read carefully, the same message will be repeated many places, but you try to find, there may be conflict. But in Prabhupada's book, you will not find, at least I have not found any kind of contradiction from each other statements. Sometimes we find it, we take help of Prabhupada's disciples and we understand it. So that's the beautiful compilation by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada had desire, Krishna fulfills. His Grace Ravindra Sir Prabhu once told me, I remember, if Krishna is happy, he will give you everything. If Krishna is happy, he is going to give us. So we can have unlimited desires, spiritual desires. How can I serve you? How can I chant my rounds? How can I read your books, Prabhupada's books? And how can I share Krishna consciousness to others? And there's no issue of our maintenance. It will be done. It will be done. However, it doesn't mean that we whimsically give up everything and no, it has to be done under the supervision of the senior devotees, always. So it's 8:30. I would like to see if devotees can share something. Vishnugada Prabhu, can you please share something?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I'd like to ask questions of you, if you don't mind.
I know.
Is that all right?
Yeah, please.
Could you speak a little bit about two things? One is, Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, if one serves faithfully, there's no possibility of frustration. Could you elaborate on what you understand he would mean by serving faithfully? And then later he says that Krishna takes charge of the devotee's advancement. If you could, or others, could give any specific examples of how that might occur. Do you follow the question?
Yeah.
Krishna's taking charge of the devotee's advancement.
Yeah.
That would be very helpful, if you don't mind. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Well, those are that's my point also, but you can share as well. Let me share what one is. This very interesting point. I don't know why Prabhupada wrote it. This is one, right? I'm looking at where it says frustration. Yeah. If one serves faithfully, there is no possibility of frustration because the Lord himself takes charge of devotee's advancement. I can tell from my experience, I can tell, even though I'm trying to do sincerely, but frustration is there all the time. And there's several reasons can be frustrated. Here I believe the frustration is referred to in relationship to material life, because in spiritual life we will also experience the frustrations also. There's no possibility of frustration. The only difference is that in spiritual life we will continue with more and more inspirations every day. Anandam Buddhivardhanam. You want to do, obstacles will come. Obstacles will come. You can share when Prabhupada was ever got frustrated or not. And I'm sure everyone gets frustrated at that point of time. And all these frustrations only is an opportunity to take shelter of Krishna and his devotees very sincerely. And the material frustration is, the frustration, is you try to derive pleasure in the material world will end in frustration every moment in the material world. To attain something, you have to go through hard labor. One is definitely going to end up with frustration. But I think this is referring to, in discharging devotional service. While discharging devotional service, we will face the frustrations in every time. But it gives us an opportunity to put ourselves in a proper position, evaluate ourselves again back, or consult senior devotees, so that we can learn from there and we can advance further. Devotional frustration means one should not give up the responsibility in any way. Many times out of frustration, we don't want to do our duties. Sometimes Guru, I'm thinking, I heard that, in Gurus also can be frustrated by devotees' behavior. And temple authorities also can be frustrated. Or general practitioner, member of the society devotee also can be frustrated in his or her practice. So that is natural, will come. And it is true that we all are facing every day, isn't it? Anyone who does not feel frustration in their life while practicing bhakti. So my understanding that Lord himself takes charge of his devotees' advancement. These frustrations comes, we learn, it gives us the opportunity to take shelter and improve ourselves. Would you like to share more on this, please? Frustrations can be also agreements.
You're asking me?
Yeah.
Or somebody else?
What is your thinking?
I was concentrating more on the faithful part. You're speaking more on the frustration part of the same.
Yes. Okay.
Of the sentence.
Yeah.
I mean, faithful. I'm taking it that this sentence is talking about the ultimate frustration. There's no possibility of frustration, meaning the ultimate frustration would be not achieving the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. So along the way, there's always some difficulties, as you're pointing out. But the faithful devotee means that in spite of all kinds of obstacles that are put in the person's path, they continue to worship and serve Krishna, chant 16 rounds, follow the 4 regulative principles, and engage regularly in devotional service, associate with devotees, do some kirtan, etc. So but that's what I was thinking. But you explained it also.
In another note, in my experiences that I was thinking, if we have, somebody like a child who has a father and mother, if the child is faithful to father and mother, or the son is faithful, one's journey becomes very smooth. So I hope I try to put that. So in our practice also, if we really depend on somebody higher, superior to us, and serve them faithfully, spiritual masters, representatives, what happens? It becomes very smooth, because ultimately it helps us free from the frustration. We get counseling, we get solace, and we get inspiration, and we get protection also. But just trying to do independently becomes very hard. That's my experience and realizations also. Did that make sense? In Bhakti, even though we are advanced, it's always good to have somebody, above us.
Well, that's the part of faithful. Faithful means faithful to somebody,
Exactly.
some person. And that is in the ISKCON movement, that's Srila Prabhupada and one's individual guru. And there's the verse, Yasya Deve Para Bhaktir Yata Deve Tata Guru. One, the person who has implicit faith both in the spiritual master and Krishna, to that person, all the imports of the Vedas are revealed. Tasyaiti Katitahyarta Prakashante Mahatmana. So, but in response to your comment about things becoming smooth, I would agree with that on more on an internal level, but on the external level, things aren't always smooth. For example, Parikshit Maharaj was cursed to die in 7 days. So from a material standpoint, that's not very smooth. Or the Pandavas were exiled in the forest for 13 years, but that didn't impede it didn't impede their spiritual advancement or their spiritual connection with Lord Krishna. Parikshit Maharaj took that impediment as an opportunity to advance. And so on the spiritual level, there was no impediment, but materially, it certainly looks like it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And isn't everything we work on spiritual level because our perception changes and spiritual.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because material world will remain same. We can, many times at the beginning we try to improve the material conditions, but our perception, understanding, and everything, tolerance, everything changes when we internalize. Yeah, thank you. And you asked the other one also, right?
How does Krishna arrange? He says Krishna takes charge of the devotee's advancement. So I was just asking if you had any examples of how that might occur, or how that work might occur.
Yeah. Any example, right? Yeah. We one example we can say, Prabhupada is coming now. The 60th anniversary is being celebrated in Boston this coming weekend. Prabhupada came, and Krishna came into the dream of Prabhupada. He said that, I have taken care. Because ultimately, pure devotion means knowing one is conscious, cognizant that Krishna is ultimate doer. Nothing happens because of me, ahankara. So it's an interesting spiritual journey. You aspire for something, at the same time you know that everything is done by Krishna only. So Prabhupada says, if you will, if you will, please do this. That's interesting thing, also statements. If you desire, let it be so. So my aspiration can be there, but my aspiration, my desire should be in sync with Krishna's desire. At the same time, I also must be, I do my part. I do my part. I desire, which is aligned in harmony with Krishna's desire, and I do my part. But I should know that everything is done by Krishna. So that is the realization. Sometimes may not happen. So one understands that Krishna didn't wanted this to happen. Krishna didn't want this to happen. So many examples can be in our life also. We try everything, it doesn't happen. Then we get frustrated. But in advanced stage, we know that ultimately Krishna didn't wanted this to happen. As devotee evolves, advances, one's appreciation and realizations can change. Isn't it true? Like devotee always know that everything is really done by Krishna. You arrange for a big festival. I remember I used to do festivals in Philadelphia, sometimes raining. Prediction is this, go into so much of anxiety. Oh, we have prepared so much, cooked, decorated everything. What will happen? And you go through so much anxiety. Then as we continue, we know that it's okay. Ultimately, it's in Krishna's hand.
Example I was thinking of, for example, Srila Prabhupada started the League of Devotees in India. And he had no ulterior motive. He was doing it only for service of Krishna, but it didn't work out. So he had that Radha memorial, but then he got kicked out of there by the Ladies Association. And but Krishna wanted him to come to spread Krishna consciousness outside of India.
Yeah.
And so that was, in a sense, giving him the opportunity to advance Krishna's, Lord Chaitanya's mission further. Or another example is Vidura was involved in politics at in Hastinapur, in the court of Hastinapur, but at a certain point, Duryodhan kicked him out. And how long did he stay away? Over 30 years. 30 years he was away from the palace in Hastinapur. And what did he do? He went on pilgrimage to various holy places, and he got the association of devotees like Uddhava, Maitreya, etc. So that was an opportunity for Vidura, even though the initial Krishna arranged that, even though through Duryodhan. You follow?
Yeah. And it's not very easy, isn't it? It's not very easy. It's nice, it's wonderful, to be so flexible, to be, to be aligned with Krishna's will and accepting that this Krishna, I think it's a very advanced stage, isn't it? I don't know. Thank you. At least we try our best. Anyone else want to share? Sorry, the discussion went, I think it's a good discussion, went a little long. Any other points? Any other realizations anyone like to share, please? It's a good lesson, I realize, especially, the frustration part, and also Maitreya's conviction that, Krishna fulfills, will give you everything. We can achieve everything, whatever we want. Only thing we change it, our desire and aspiration, what we are looking for. Should we stop it here? Yeah, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I was reading it. I was listening yesterday to Srila Prabhupada memories. It was His Holiness Tamal Krishna Maharaj speaking, and he was talking about him. He went to India, and Srila Prabhupada had ordered to have the what do they call it, the life membership program, and they put Tamal Krishna Maharaj in charge of organizing it initially. And he's realizing how much effort it was to put together, and he was trying to find help, and he was having a hard time getting people to help him. He was getting very frustrated. It made me think about you talking about frustrations, and no matter what he did, it just seemed like he wasn't getting anywhere. Devotees weren't helping; they were doing other services. And finally, he came to Srila Prabhupada, and he really kind of broke down. He started crying, and when he was crying, Srila Prabhupada started laughing. And Srila Prabhupada told him that, you don't realize how fortunate you are that Krishna has put you in this type of distress. You are just like Arjuna. And this is actually for a devotee to undergo this type of anxiety. We don't understand it initially, but it's actually the Lord's mercy upon us. And we should see, because in that state, we actually find ourselves in full dependence on Krishna. Otherwise, we're thinking it's because of me. I'm putting this together. I put together a great team. I've put together these people, and look at me. I'm putting this together. But when everything starts falling apart, you have nothing but your dependency on Krishna. Krishna, please help me. So Prabhupada was laughing, and he was thinking, I've come here, it's a strange place for me. I'm trying hard. People are getting sick, and you're laughing. So anyway, I was thinking about that as you were talking.
That's interesting. At least for him, Prabhupada and everything was there. When Prabhupada came to America, nothing was there for him. How much trouble, how much situation he went through. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I think that inspires all of us. There's something wonderful for us here. We just make sure aspire to the right thing and don't get frustrated. And while aspiring the right thing, also frustration will come. It's for our own purification. It's for our own purification, right? So the lesson is don't give up and progress positively, for the further improvement, and discharge patiently and sincerely. So should we stop it here? Yeah, let's all get ready for upcoming Rath Yatra festivals. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarvyascha.